Yeshayah continues with the hope for the future for those who listen to God. We continue with chapter 26, Perek Chaf Vav. Bayom hahu yushar hashir hazeh be'eretz Yehuda. On that day, this song shall be sung in the land of Judah, Jerusalem, and around Jerusalem. Ir azlanu Yeshua, yashit chomot vachel. Ours is a mighty city. God makes victory our inner and our outer wall. I don't know if Mordechai ben David or Avram Fried, I know him 30 years ago, or somebody else have made a song of this, but right, Jerusalem, when so much else, when all other people were destroyed, Jerusalem remained strong. Our people remains in Judah, Yehuda remains strong. Pitchu she'arim v'yavo goy tzadik shomer emunim. Open the gates. A righteous nation will enter, a nation that keeps faith. Presumably this refers to Bnei Israel, those who have kept faith with God. Many times we've seen in the past that they have not kept faith with God, but here the implication is that they have. Where there are those who discuss here what the word shomer means, because it's used in different ways in different places. But the key here, again, is we're continuing with this sort of Messianic. Again, it's unclear, is this fully Messianic prayers for the future? Is this something that was after when the Assyrians attempted to invade Israel and they were defeated during the time period of Chizkiyahu, that shows that Chizkiyahu, with his emunah, with his faith, with his support, with his trust in God, and the city remaining strong because the Assyrians need to leave. Either way, it's something that is sensational. He continues, Yetzer samuch titzor, shalom shalom, kivecha batuach. The confident mind you guard in safety, right? The one who is confident in you, God, in safety because he trusts in you, God, right? So he trusts in you, and you trust in him. It's mirroring. Bitchu v'Adonai deyad, ki v'ya Adonai tzur olamim, a prayer that said daily, this verse. Trust in God forever and ever, right? Ad deyad, forever. Because in Yah, short version of the name of God, B'Yah Hashem tzur olamim, because in Yah, God, you have an everlasting rock. Right? And you can think about this where the Yud Hey is used back, all the way back. In Sefer Shmot, when God tells Moshe with the attack of Amalek, Kiyad al Kes Yah, right? He uses the same Yah, the Yud Hey, that there is a battle with Amalek in every single generation. And God here is saying as well, those who trust God, God will be with them in every generation forever, because God is an everlasting rock, something that lasts forever. Yashpilena yashpila ad eretz yagiena ad afar. God has brought low those who dwelt high. Whether this is mythical, like in the last chapter where it talked about these other mythical beings being imprisoned, or more likely it's talking about the Assyrians and other very strong and arrogant nations. God has brought them, he's shafal, he's brought them down. He's brought them down to all the way to the dust. Tir, we're in verse 6, Pasuk Vav. Tir mesena ragel ragle ani pa'amei dalim. They are trampled underfoot by the feet of the needy, by the souls of the poor. And this is interesting. This verse talks about the word pa'amei and regel, and those words we think of shalosh regalim, the 3 pilgrimage festivals, and it also says shalosh pa'amim bashana back in the book of Devarim, and they both are referring to the pilgrimage festivals. Really, this word pa'ameh, as it seems here, is the word for a soul, and regel, which refers to the pilgrimage festivals, also means, right, a foot or a leg. Right? It was, you had to go 3 times a year. You had to show yourself. You had to use your feet to go and to get there. Eventually, pa'am morphs into a word that means time. With the word pa'am means a time. Pa'amayim means 2 times, but it may have meant something else way back when. As here, it's used for soul, related to the word for foot. Okay, a little linguistic etymology on the side there. Verse 7, Pasuk Zayin, Orach la tzadik meisharim yashar ma'agal tzadik tifales. The path is level, it's orach, for the righteous. Oh God, you are yashar, you who is just. Make smooth the course of the righteous, right? Make it easy for them. Don't let them be trampled underfoot. Aforach mishpatecha Adonai kivinucha l'shimcha ulezichrecha ta'avat nafesh. For your just ways. What do we want, God? We want to see your mishpat. We want to see your just ways. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're looking to. We long for the name by which you are called. That's what we desire. The name being Hashem, being mishpat, the idea of judgment. And this is one of the things that's going on in this chapter. Those who are righteous and have been treated incorrectly want to see that there's justice, want to see that the wicked are going to be punished, that the righteous are going to be rewarded. And that's what's being said to us in these chapters that Yeshayah has said. Right, the wicked are going to be destroyed. Those who were up high, the Assyrians with their destruction, are going to be taken low. And the Israelites, the Jews, the people of Judah who trust in God will remain on course and will be protected. Nafshi, we're in verse 9. Nafshi iviticha balayla afruchi vakirbi ashacharecha ki kasher mishpatecha laaretz tzedek lamdu yoshvei tebel. At night I yearn for you with all of my being. I seek you with all of my spirit. And here the idea of Laila here, night, I believe, doesn't just mean the night, the dark hours, but it also is a understanding of the times that are dark, the times that are difficult, the times where we can't see God's light, times of persecution, times of danger. That, right, even at that time, especially at that time, people yearn for God. For when your judgments will occur on earth, the inhabitants will learn of righteousness, right? Now we're in the darkness, we're in the difficulty, but God, you will show the mishpat, that the wicked are punished and the righteous are rewarded. Yuchan rasha balamat tzedek be'eretz nochoti avel uval yireh geut Adonai. And the evil ones, the scoundrels, when they're spared, they don't learn about righteousness. They're balamat tzedek. They don't learn it, right? They don't see the integrity of God. They don't see the idea of justice of God. So God, please, you need to do this. You need to punish the wicked and reward the righteous, so that everybody knows that there is a system, an idea of justice in this world. Adonai Rama Yadcha Bal Yechezayun. Oh God, Eternal One. They don't see that your yad, your hand is extended. And we've had we've had the hand here used multiple times. God's hand, which yesterday came down onto the mountain, the hand of God, and yado netuyah, like it says back in the book of Shemot, God's hand, which was extended to destroy the evil ones, or even when his hand was helping the Assyrians to destroy the northern kingdom and other Jews who had not obeyed God. V'yevoshu kinatam af eish tzarecha tochlein. Let them be shamed. You should show your kin'ah, your zeal for your people, as a fire consuming your adversaries. And we have the word kin'ah and eish. It's almost impossible for me not to think of the prophet Eliyahu, who was known for his kin'ah, his zealousness. And eish, he was a man of fire, the fire that came down from the mountain when he was sitting there, the fire that brought him up to heavens. God, be zealous, be strong, destroy those who attack the Jewish people. Adonai, tishpot shalom lanu, vigam kol ma'asenu pa'alta lanu. Oh God, Eternal One, right? What do we want? We want peace. We want shalom. Give us justice. Take care of all who have dealt poorly. And so here we see it again in these verses. Up to this point, many verses about the idea of God. Let this happen. Show that justice. Reward the righteous. Punish the wicked. Let everybody know that that's the case. Adonai Eloheinu be'alunu adonim zulatecha levad bicha nazkir shemecha. So again, God, rulers other than you possessed us, but only your name will we utter. The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Moabites, all of the people that attacked is one way of understanding those pasuk. You could understand it on a more spiritual sense, that Bnei Yisrael here almost are saying, we apologize for the idolatry. We apologize that we have allowed other quote unquote rulers, other idols to possess us, but only your name shall we utter. So that's a sort of a more drashy reading, seems to be more about the enemies, but we know that God is the one who's in control. Meitim bal yichayu rifaim bal yakumu lachein pakadata vatashmideim vata'abed kol zecher loma. The dead, they can never live. the shades, they will not rise. You've dealt with them, you've wiped them out, you've put an end to all of them. Here it seems to imply that, right, once you're dead, that it's done with. We'll see if that continuing on later in this chapter. Yasafta lagoy Adonai, Yasafta lagoy nichbadita, richachta kol kavtzei eretz. When you added, right, Yosef, when you added to the nation, God, when you added to the nation, when you extended all the boundaries, you were honored, right? When Bnei Israel, things were good for us, right? When it made people believe in you, that things have been done well for your nation. Adonai, batzar pikaducha, tzakun lachash musarcha lamo. Oh God, in distress they sought you, but your punishment to them reduced them to an anguished prayer. They prayed to you because you finally punished them. And then finally they recognize when they are in trouble, when things are bad, when they are going downward, they recognize you and they pray towards you, God. Kmo hara takriv laledet tachil tizak b'chavaleha, kain hayinu mipanecha Adonai. Like a woman approaching childbirth, who's anguished, who's screaming because of the birth pangs, so we become because of you, God, right? We have had punishments, we've had difficulties because of your decrees, but right, like the woman, she's going to have the baby and things will turn out well. The same thing. Harinu chalnu kmo yaladnu ruach yeshuot bal naaseh eretz uval yiplu yoshvei tevel. We were pregnant and we were, ready to give birth. There was no victory for us. Things had not happened that were good. The people, literally, it says the inhabitants of the world, they were bal yiplu. They haven't come to life. Yichyu meitecha nivlati yikumun. Oh, let you, right, God, revive the dead. Hakitsu v'rananu shochnei afar kital orot talecha ve'eretz rifaim tapil. Awake, shout with joy, those who were shochnei afar, those who were dwelling in the dust, right? Because the dew is like the dew of fresh growth. You make the land come to life. And here, the implication of this verse seems to be that we believe in Tchiyat HaMetim. A few verses ago, we said that those who are dead don't come back to life. And here it seems to say that God, you can revive the dead. So is this literally related to the idea of the resurrection of the dead? Or is it just an idea, just generally things that seem to have fallen on hard times? Things that seem to, right, the Jewish people forgotten by God? No, they have not been forgotten by God. Those who were left in some ways to be dead, there are those scholars say that really the idea of Tchiyat HaMetim in the way that we understand it, or true resurrection, revival of the dead, only starts way long time from now with the book of Daniel. So in the time of the, following the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash. So after the time of Yeshayah, there are others who say, no, that's what Yeshayah is referring to here. Earlier, he said that there won't be. So for some people, will come back to life. Others won't come back to life. The Gemara tries to discuss this and said, for some people, it's good they'll come back. And other people, they'll be punished by coming back. So different ways of understanding this verse. And I guess a lot of that has to do with the way somebody wants to understand this entire chapter. Again, is it referring to some Messianic period, which we have not reached? Or is it referring to during the lifetime of Yeshayah, when the Assyrians, led by Sancheriv, were outside and seemingly the city of Jerusalem was dead? It was going to be destroyed, right? The people had no hope. What did they say a few chapters ago? Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we will die. Everybody thought death was coming, and then miraculously the Assyrians were defeated and they ran away. And so in a sense, it's like a resurrection. It's not a literal resurrection. It's not somebody who's dead has come back to life, but the idea is there. So understanding these verses, maybe understanding to our general sense of this chapter. A couple more verses. Lech imi ba b'chadarecha uskor dilatecha ba'adecha. So go, my people, enter your chambers, lock your doors behind you, hide, but just for a little bit, until the destruction goes by. It sounds very much like Yetziat Mitzrayim. Hide, stay in your houses. The destruction is going to come. Why? Ki hinei Adonai yotzei mimkomo lifkod oven avon yoshvei haaretz alav v'gilta haaretz et dameha v'lo tichaseh od al harugeha. Why should you do that? Because God is coming out from his place to punish the dwellers of the earth for their sins. And on the earth, there will be much bloodshed. The earth will not cover that bloodshed, right? It will not conceal its stain anymore. Up to this point, the earth has concealed the stains of the wicked. God has not punished the wicked. It hasn't been proven. It hasn't been shown. Yeshayah knows it's going to happen. And Yeshayah, giving voice to the Jewish people, is asking, do it now. Let it happen. Let everybody understand that mishpat, that the idea of justice, one of the cardinal ideas in terms of the faith, if you believe in the dogmas of the Jewish people, like the Rambam has the 13 ikarim, the 13 roots or ideas that a Jew has to believe in. One of them, of course, is the idea of justice. And so that is what Yeshayah here is asking God, bring justice to the world, because that justice ultimately will reward our people who have remained faithful to you forever.